the once upon a time world's best-selling car, the Escort's modest stepbrother, and the vehicle Ford built to connect with the youth. A humble four-door sedan, a forgettable coupe cabriolet, and a bunch of sporty models that the American brand didn't want us to have. It's time to focus, you nerds, because this is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Ford Focus.
No, you can't, dude.
Yes, I can, Nolan. You don't know what you're talking about.
It's literally impossible.
No, it's not, because I can do it.
Nuh-uh.
Yaha.
Nuh-uh.
Yaha.
Nuh-uh.
Yaha. 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 Watch this. See? Told you. Did it look cool? In the late 90s, Ford was looking to replace their long-standing and outdated compact car, the Escort. The once beloved everyday driver and World Rally Championship winning racer had evolved into a 6th generation basic in the UK and a 3rd generation pile of jelly in the US. Now, Ford had learned from previous experience that it wasn't wise to completely dump a model from their lineup to make way for its replacement. They did that with the Cortina when they released their new and improved Sierra, and that upset all those sensitive Cortina snowflakes, AKA British people in the 70s. So, Ford kept the Escort in the lineup and released the all-new Focus in 1998 to the European market and in 1999 to America. The new little sporty compact was met with mixed reception at first. Up front, it had sharp lines and distinctive headlights, while out back, it was kind of boring. People either loved it or hated it. It's like the pineapple pizza of cars.
I love pineapple pizza. I'm from Hawaii, so I like pineapple everything.
Polarizing as it was, the look stood out and got the attention of younger buyers, which was exactly what Ford was hoping for. Maybe it was the aesthetics, or maybe it was because the Focus sponsored Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca tour and partnered with Dawson's Creek to be featured in various episodes of the groundbreaking teen drama. To be over. If you have no clue what Dawson's Creek is, because you're not old like me, leave a comment below. The Focus was affordable, got great gas mileage, and came in all sorts of configurations to appeal to just about anyone. Also, it was a great handling car and fun to drive. It took a bit for the Focus to catch some heat in the sales department, but once those loyal Escort fans began to dig the new cool kid in town, sales of the Focus reached close to 500,000 cars in its 2nd year. And then, as the new car from the land of hot Cheetos started to take off, it was plagued with recalls. Left rear wheels were falling off, roof pillars were folding in during crashes, and the ignition cylinder failed, making it impossible to turn the car on. The first 2 years of the Focus got banged over the head with 12 safety recalls and 7 defect investigations. It was one of the worst cases of vehicle recalls in history, second only to the X-platform cars GM released in the 80s. But Ford pressed on, fixing the problems that plagued the Focus during its first few years, improving upon their build quality, and trying to get the public to forget about the Focus's tarnished reputation. And one way Ford went about giving amnesia was by building a more sporty model. The 2002 Focus RS. Only 4,501 of the Mark I Rally Sport Focuses rolled out for public sale. Using a turbocharged version of the 2-liter Ford Zeta engine, the RS got 212 horses and 229 pound-feet of turworks. That might not sound all that impressive compared to current day hot hatches, but in the early 2000s, this made the RS a great buy for the performance. It didn't get all-wheel drive like the Cosworth, it got front-wheel drive with a torque-biased differential designed to compensate for torque steer, which occurs in high-power front-wheel drive cars. A tightened-up suspension, Brembo brakes, 18-inch Oz racing wheels, and upgraded bodywork completed the package. Timeout. Is it Oz or is it OZ? I think it's OZ. What do you think? By the way, we're gonna start doing a thing now. Anytime we talk about a car that we didn't get here in the States, I'm gonna go on our subreddit into a post called James List. So go to r/Donut Media to see my list. And while you're there, let me know other cars that we didn't get in the US. So we didn't get the RS, but we did get the next best thing. We got the SVT. The special vehicle team took the 2-liter Z-Tech 4-banger and massaged the lactic acid out of that pony to get an extra 40 buff horses for a total of 170. The SVT got variable intake cam timing, a dual stage intake manifold, and high flow, high compression cylinder head. This thing was a blast to drive. I'm guessing, because I've never driven one. During this same time, Ford also decided to make statement cars, special edition Focuses built from 2000 to 2003. You got the Sony edition that came with a high performance Sony Explode audio system, a Centennial edition, and a Kona edition that came with a bicycle, specifically the Kona Blast. And they sold them to their young and hip Focus buyers. Ironically, a crank bolt problem on the bicycle led to the first ever automaker issued bicycle recall. Ugh! Can't catch a break. Aside from the statement cars they built, they offered specialized packages marketed as tailored for you kids. Pet lover? You could get the pet package that included a custom pet bed, a lint roller, and a pet safety belt. The Friends package, which came with a ice cooler and a candy dispenser, and the complete first season of Friends on VHS. Well, if you're a business person, maybe you'd opt for the Professional package, which got a mobile workstation that had a tray to hold your laptop and other supplies needed to run a business out of your car. I can't imagine anything more depressing than working out of your car while parked in the parking lot of a Carl's Jr. If you are working in your car, you need to get a new job. Unless you're a private detective, or a cop, or an Uber driver, or a race car driver. Sometimes I'm at work when I'm in a car. Being the host of Top Gear would be cool. I guess you work in cars there. Turns out working in cars is actually pretty tight. Saleen even got in on the Focus fever with the S121, although it was more of a looks package. Using the Duratec 2-liter inline-4, the cars got a 10% performance bump by replacing the factory paper air filter with a more freely flowing air filter and a catback exhaust system. But the cool thing is, you could get an N2O edition. Nitrous oxide, anyone?
Yes, please. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow.
You got a factory installed 75 horsepower shot of nitrous with the bottle mounted in the boot. But if you hooked up the bottle, it would void your warranty, so whatever. In 2004, Ford took away the SVT, and England got the ST. This was also the first year where the Focus models split up into various markets. The Mark II makes its debut in the UK, while here in the States, we have to wait until 2008. Gone was the 2-liter Z-Tech. Now the Focus was powered by a 2.3-liter, 155 horsepower Duratec motor developed by Mazda. The foreign Focus ST got the restyle as well as a 2.5-liter, 5-cylinder turbo Volvo motor that pumped out 225 horsepower, getting the car from 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds. With all these different models and packages, it's funny that Ford left out one particular group of cargoers.
Oh yeah? Who?
Someone who likes to take a spin on the coast with the wind blowing through your hair.
You mean a convertible Focus?
Yeah.
Well, actually, they did make one. It was called the Coupe Cabriolet.
Huh. Yikes. That does not look good. The RS made a UK comeback in 2009, this time getting 300 horsepower out of a turbocharged 5-cylinder. Ford used the ST motor and beefed up the internals, gave it a new intake and exhaust, and threw on a larger BorgWarner K16 turbo. The hot hatch could get it. With a top speed of 163 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. Of the second gen Focuses, the one that tops the food chain is the RS 500. The swan song for the second gen RS and an homage to the Sierra RS 500 racer of the 80s. Only 500 of these matte black mobiles were made. Sporting 345 horsepower, the RS 500 got a larger intercooler, airbox, and downpipe, all helping it scoot to 60 faster than its lil RS Bro by 0.4 of a second. And if you're a Focus fan that lives in the US of A and have never seen this version, it's because yes, we didn't get it. You're an American car company and you're not even giving America any of the cool freaking cars. It's going on the list. Now, we haven't talked much about WRC cars because they share literally 0 parts from the street model. From '99 on, manufacturers were no longer required to build homologation specials in order to meet requirements to race. But similar to how it is in NASCAR, the brands would tag their cars with a model in their lineup in order to get people to buy one off the showroom floor. Even if it's nothing like the race car you see on TV, good old Frankie boy might mosey into a Ford dealership thinking he's gonna get that WRC edition. Sorry, Frankie, you got duped. The Focus RS WRC did win 44 rallies and 2 manufacturer titles during its run from '99 to 2010. So, very successful. Ford reunited the international and North American Focus with the Mark III in 2011. Design of the Mark III was developed using the third age suit, a wearable device that simulates the physical limitations of being old. Weird. Ford pushed to make the Focus a global phenomenon, and it worked. The third generation Focus was the best-selling car in the world in 2012, with over 1 million cars sold. That same year, Ford brought the ST package back, built as part of the One Ford program, which was Ford's way of combining all the various design and engineering teams around the globe to produce a single car worldwide. Which sounds great because now I get to cut down the list of fun cars we don't get here in the States.
Well, unless you wanted to get the Focus ST wagon, we didn't get that. Only Europe got that.
The ST uses a tuned 2-liter EcoBoost 4-banger that makes 250 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. When horsepower and torque are the same number, I call that horse pork. Half buff horse, half buff pig. 100% delicious. They got all those 250 horse porks by way of a high pressure direct injection system, a low inertia turbo, and twin independent variable cam timing. It took them a few years, but the RS line returned in 2016 to outshine the ST. Hey ST, I got more power, baby! And for the first time in the Focus's history, it got all-wheel drive. Making this car eat is a 2.3-liter EcoBoost, the same one that's in the Mustang. We did an episode of the new car show on the Focus RS, so you can check it out here. It's basically the tip-top hot boy hatch that you can buy. Sorry, could buy. 2018 was the last year of the Focus here in the States. As you might know, Ford has stopped making a bunch of passenger cars, focusing on building crossovers and trucks. The last Mark III Focus for the NA market rolled off the assembly line in May 2018, ending an era that spanned 2 decades. But the Focus name will still live on in the Focus Active, a Chinese-made version that will be imported into the States. While other countries across the world still get to enjoy the new ST and RS models. We'll only get one model to choose from, a 5-door hatchback from China that looks like a crossover.
Hey guys, huge announcement. We're launching a podcast, finally. It's called Past Gas. It's about the cars you love, the people behind them, and we'll be telling the best stories in automotive history. And because it's longer, we get to go deeper into the juicy details, the fun stuff that we sometimes have to skip in our shorter shows. So you can watch it here on our YouTube or Facebook page every Sunday, and then you can listen to the next episode Monday wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever fine podcasts are delivered. Go check it out, Past Gas. about cars, it's not about farts. It's a podcast.
Enzo, come on.
No, I don't want to race
Come on.
anymore.
Enzo, if you stop racing, your brand is dead. We all know that.
You don't even care if a Ferrari go away.
Don't say that.
It's how I feel sometimes.
Oh, what's the problem?
I feel like everybody like a Ford, nobody like a Ferrari.